Whenever I have a problem in my business, I always default to this book by Keith Cunningham, The Road Less Stupid. There's a couple of reasons why. One of them is something called thinking time. And the other one is it's very confrontational. It will make you have a good hard look at yourself and see what part of the problem you are in causing the problem that you currently have. Keith actually speaks to it in there. He said, if you've got a problem that happens more than 3 times, and he actually spoke about this, how he had a problem with relationships, but like romantic partners and actually business people that he was in business with. And he says, and that problem happens more than 3 times, and you're the common denominator, then you're the problem. So the problem that I've been having is visionaries love speed. And then you sell them on the idea of Kaizen being the way to compound and get to speed. But getting them past the first 90 days, holding their attention, keeping them engaged in something slow, incremental, and relatively boring is extremely difficult. And I've had the problem more than 3 times now, where you get to about somewhere between 30 and the 60-day mark, sometimes even quicker. Of the shortest I've had is under a week, where they lose interest. And even though they all quote the saying from the Navy SEALs, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, you can't get them to actually stick to it. But because I went back and did thinking time and went, what's my part of the problem here? What aren't I doing? I realised exactly what was going on. Hence the reason for this video. So I'm going to tell you this in the Dan Rome Stick Story framework through here. We're going to take it from start to finish through this week. What we're going to look at first is there is an unlimited amount of options, bright shiny things, and this is not a visionary passion exercise, by the way. You need these people, you need the big ideas, you need the people that stretch us and push us harder to come up with better results. But we also need, as Dr. Eli Galbraith said, the constraint in any organisation is not the market, and it's not the bottleneck, it's not even people or all these other things that we blame. He says the constraint is literally management's span of attention. So the good old visionary thinks he wants to go faster. What he needs to do is tap more options in the top of the bucket there, in the top of the funnel. This is what's actually coming out. This is results, I'm going to call it. Hope I got that. The results coming out the bottom, which is only a small amount of options tipping in the top. We want these visionaries to give us the time and the breathing space to let Kaizen kick in, which is small incremental improvements, small daily incremental improvements, and we'll have a look at tomorrow on some stats on how that actually works, okay? This is also out of Keith's book, and this is, I don't know why this didn't dawn on me earlier, but he says A players, which is your visionary, love to be measured. Now, when I say they're A players at the thing that they do really well. Might be sales, might be, you know, a specific technical skill that they excel at. They're an A player at that. In focus, staying focused and staying on track with something, they're probably a D- to an E player at best. So when you start scoring them and giving them the report card and showing them how they're measuring up there and how that's affecting their long-term progress, then you've got their attention. Okay, so we're going to turn that A players love to be measured. We're going to turn that to our advantage, because there's 2 things that they love seeing. Number 1 is visible progress. Okay, they love seeing it, visible progress. And the second thing that they love seeing, they're absolutely addicted to this, and this causes a lot of the issue. They're addicted to speed. However, as we know from our mates at the Navy SEALs, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Now, a good mate of mine on the last project that we're on showed me just how powerful dashboards are. We're going to use dashboards as a filter. And what dashboards do is they remove the opinions. And they let, as he used to say, let the data tell the story. So what they do is they separate the signals, what should we be focused on, from the noise. The opinions of, if we just tip more shit in the top here, we'll go faster. Because the data tells us a story about how quickly we're actually moving, or whether this compounding thing, giving it time to compound, is a good idea or not. So I'll give you a real quick look at the sheet and do a 5-minute explanation. It's not the best looking sheet that you're ever going to see, okay? But it's built on some damn good psychology, stuff that I've learned from the likes of Keith Cunningham, Robert Cialdini, and there's another guy in here called Benjamin Hardy, who's actually an organisational psychologist. So let me explain the thinking behind the sheet. The sheet's not finished. This is revision 1. We're going to improve it as we go through the week. We're going to have Kaizen moments every single day that we're going to improve. But I'm going to show you how we're going to hook the visionary by measuring and tracking what we're doing from day one. Day one, when we start, we're going to hook them by showing them progress and speed. All right, so as I say, not the most exciting sheet you're ever going to see, but it's based on 3 factors, and we don't try and do all 3 to start with. Let me put this back on here so you can actually see me. So I can track around for it. Yep, okay. So Keith Cunningham, again in the Road Less Stupid, said, if you'll do these 3 things on a daily consistent basis, you will be astonished at the progress that you will make. Actually, I'm only going to speak to this one today. We'll speak to the others on a couple other days. So that is plan your day before you start. Limit your works in progress. So 3 daily measurable outcomes that you're going to measure, and then report that progress. Ben Hardy here, this video, I'd really recommend that you go and watch that. It's called Raise Your Standards. It talks about raising your floor. So what we want to do here is, if we do all 3 of those things each day, then that's a blue day. We've completed it, okay? If we started them, but we didn't finish them, we get an orange day. If we get a red day, that means that we didn't do it at all. Ben's saying, if on a consistent basis, if we raise our standards and eliminate our red days, we will get up to 5x more productivity, traction, progress, whatever you want to call it. So the way that this works is we input daily into here. This is set up for me at the moment. It's not exactly set up to 1%, but if you know how to use spreadsheets at all, don't even know how to use a spreadsheet. I'm terrible on spreadsheets, but I managed to do all of this with ChatGPT, going backwards and forwards, and I'll show you how I do that even tomorrow, okay? So daily, I update this. I'm building a program at the moment called School, and I've worked out the figure that I need to do is I need to get to a certain amount of posts per day inside School, which is based on the fact of the guy that just won what they call the School Olympics for most monthly returning revenue, and he actually did $335,000 of monthly returning revenue. One of the key metrics, daily measurable outcomes that he tracks, is how many people that he interacts with and replies to a day. So you've got to get to about 90 for that to happen. So I've amped mine up. As you see here, I'll hit 90 down around about, if I keep on track, about the 10th of the 1st, just early next year in 2026. So it is the 8th today. I haven't done my number for today yet. So I need to do 7.1 posts or replies in there today to get a green day. Haven't done it. I'm going to take this video and put in there, and I'll do that straight after this. That is my pact at the moment, and I'm tracking it Jerry Seinfeld style up here, where don't break the chain. Checking off each day what I have and I haven't done. Here's the beauty. This is how we won't keep the visionary engaged with this yet, but this is a bit where we keep them engaged. So that then shows up on here. We put a heat map on here. So when the visionary comes back and goes, we're not moving quick enough, we can go, well, let's say we're out here somewhere. We go, well, you didn't, for 3 weeks, you haven't even done the 3 things that you said you were going to do, so it hasn't had time to compound. And what does compounding looks like? Compounding looks like that. So that is progress versus actual. So that little red line down there. So the blue line is showing if we followed and did what we said we were going to do back here, which is whatever figure we said we're going to do now, and we'll speak to this tomorrow, how that ties into 14.4 minutes per day. We don't need a massive amount of time to do this, but it all ties back to 1% of your 24 hours of your 24-hour day, which impacts on your 100-hour rule, and what 1% compounded over 70 days looks like. We actually put that there to them so they can see, they have a visual of what progress looks like and how quick they will go if they actually stick to this. So we're using this, for want of a better term, A players love being measured. We're measuring them to show what progress and speed they can go at if they stick with this. That separates the signals, that's the signal showing us what our trajectory is, from the noise, the opinions. Takes the opinions right out of it. Opinions are like, as we say in the construction industry, arseholes. Everyone's got them. As a general rule, they stink. Let the data tell the story. All right, that is it for today. I'm going to play you a quick outro from a workshop that I just run called Unboxed. And Unboxed this is part of it. This is session 3. Setting up your tracking to take away from the workshop and track what you do, how you get in place, and how you can take off the first 9 days after you leave the workshop. Won't play the full 10 minutes of it. If you want to see the full video, just drop a comment below or message me by, you'll see there's a little WhatsApp QR code there, or you can message me via, what we got down the bottom, Facebook down the bottom there. If you're watching on LinkedIn, you can message me there as well. Just say Unbox Workshop Trailer video if you want to watch the full video. I'll just play a minute or so of it for you now, see, and you'll very quickly see whether it's you or not. And remember, tomorrow we're going to move on to here. 1% of 24 hours equals 14.4 minutes. What that means and how we're going to track that in this sheet. The 100-hour rule, how to get into the top 5%, how to become an outlier at this. What we're building here is a culture of world-class problem solvers that we can accurately forecast where they're going to be at a point in time, because we're tracking it in our sheet. We can up figures, down the figures, whatever we need to do. And 1% compounded over 70 days. How if we put a focus effort on those 3, what do Keith call them? The 3 pillars of success. Put a focused effort on it over 70 days, what that would actually look like, how much progress we'd make, and what speed we'd travel at doing it. Take it, use it, make it a great week. You want the Traction Trifecta tool, the revision of it, message me that, and we'll speak soon. If you live on the Sunshine Coast and you've got a team of at least 10, they're a good team, but you know that there's another couple of levels that they need to go to get to great. But you're not quite sure on how you're going to get them to that level, because a lot of your days are very chaotic, running around, putting fires out. You just can't seem to get them all heading in the same direction. Then I want to tell you about an upcoming workshop that I've got called Unboxed, because it might just be exactly what you've been looking for. Hey, this is Beanie, also known as the Troublemaker Coach, and what I'm going to do right now is take you right through the journey of what